Welcome to Eat Sleep Nerd, a podcast where you can check out, go AFK, and relax with us as we discuss all things nerd. Comic books, video games, movies, TV shows, and anything else that gets geeks more worked up than Luthen trying to tie up loose ends.
Welcome to episode number 34. I'm your dorky DJ, Corey Winter, and as always, I am joined by my nerdy brother, Josh Winter, and our geeky friends, Jason Summer and Christian James. In this episode, we are reviewing the entire first season of Star Wars Andor, as well as Guardians of the Galaxy, the Holiday Special. We'll also be covering a little bit of news in the cinema realm of things. But first, please do not forget to share this show with your friends and neighbors and enemies. I was going to say enemies too. Oh, but even before that, let's geek out on just some random things. Josh, Jason, Christian, how you guys doing?
Tired.
Sore.
Extremely tired.
Sore?
Yeah.
Why are you sore? Wedding photography is actually a sport because
Okay.
you're up and down, left and right, all that other stuff.
I imagine there's a lot of squatting.
Yes.
So you have to have good quads.
As someone that has a gym membership and has never stepped foot in one, that this year, it's hard.
Did you get like free drinks or a meal or something?
Well, this one was like a traditional Indian wedding, so no.
No.
Very cool, though.
Rip, though. That would have been the best food.
Yeah. They did have food, but all they wanted me for was the
pictures.
the pictures,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
Just do your job.
Yeah.
right. And then you may leave.
Do your job, labor.
God.
All right. Well, all right. So I'm going to start off what we geeked out on this week because I had a jam-packed, nerdy week of things. Obviously, I continue playing Modern Warfare 2.
Obviously.
Josh actually came over on Thanksgiving Day to cook his turkey in his grill that is actually still at my house. And
Can't have it at the apartment.
yeah, so he was here all day cooking his turkey, and we played Modern Warfare 2 split screen, but online the entire day. So Josh was a brand noob to Modern Warfare, and he leveled up to like level 20 or something.
Yep.
Like we went pretty hard.
Yep.
But yeah, that was a fun time. Just an entire day of Call of Duty. That was fun.
Cool.
And then, so we had the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special come out this week. And I wanted to get back into the mood of Guardians because I love the Guardians. Like, of the three Marvel film franchises that I love the most, obviously Spider-Man and Ant-Man, but also Guardians. Like, I love Guardians. I have a lot of their comic books and stuff. Obviously, I love the video game, as you guys know. So I wanted to get back into the mood before this holiday special. So I watched the first two Guardians movies. And at the same time, I wanted to build the Milano, a Lego set. I actually don't have the number pulled up. But Lego came out a couple years ago with a model of the Milano from the films. It came with a few minifigures as well. I think it was a couple $100. So it's actually like one of those sets you can actually like put on display. Like it has a display stand and everything. So the funny thing about this is I think it's like 2,000 pieces, something like that. And I'll be sharing a link to this set in the show notes if anyone's curious. But it took exactly the length of both movies to build this set. Like I was putting on the last piece in the credits of the second film. It was actually uncanny how it lined up perfectly.
It was meant to be. That
Yeah, I feel like that was on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I think the designers were like, how many Lego pieces to fill two Guardians of the Galaxy movies?
Anyone interested, it is Lego number 76193.
look at Josh on the ones and twos over there. But yes, super fun build. And it comes with like, it's from the Infinity War, I think. So it comes with Thor with the long hair. It comes with Star-Lord, Groot, Rocket, who else? Mantis, and Bad Guy. So it comes with quite a few. No Drax, no Gamora.
What wasn't the Milano destroyed in the first movie?
Yes, but at the end of the first movie, they actually rebuilt it. Nova Corps rebuilt it for them.
Or did they get the Benatar?
It was a Milano. They rebuilt the Milano. It was actually like the last scene in the film as that Nova Corps rebuilt the Milano for them as a thank you for helping.
Well, then
them stop.
I have just been corrected about a huge misconception that I've had for quite some time.
But yeah, so that was a fun build. But also, I had a lot going on this week, guys. I built my third skyscraper, like the big skyscraper, like it's about as tall as I am. So I'll be sharing a picture of that in the show notes, I think. But Josh has seen it. I don't think Christian or Jason has seen it yet, but it is huge.
I certainly have not seen it, as I am, not there.
Well, I didn't say that.
It's huge.
It's pretty big.
Really huge.
It's absolutely huge.
It's pretty big. It took like 10 hours to build. I think that one building alone was like 6,000 pieces.
Wow, it's a lot of pieces.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my week. That's enough for me. Christian.
Ooh.
Round robin. Popcorn Christian.
So this week, I actually shared it in the little group chat. We're really geeking out on YouTubers Previewed, Jay and Adam. They have a new podcast where they do fixes of unpopular movies, or I wouldn't say unpopular. I would say movies that have like really missed the mark.
Yeah,
with people. A lot of them was Back to the Future 3, Eternals.
Things that should have been good.
Things that should have been good.
Jason's over here saying, Back to the Future 3 was good.
It was certainly it was the weakest of the three.
Yeah,
but I still enjoyed it.
Which one of them had a really sad ending to the movie. Like it would just like end the trilogy really on a bummer. It was basically the whole middle of the movie when Marty goes to the dock back in the West.
Yeah.
They try to fix things, but it ends up being like a Groundhog Day kind of thing. And like something happens in their quest. Marty dies. He goes right back to meeting Doctor for the first time in the West. And they keep trying to figure out how to keep the story moving along, but he keeps dying, blah, blah, blah. But eventually they get back to the old Doc back in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And
Doc Prime.
Yeah. And Doc Prime basically gets back to himself and just tells Marty off from the first movie.
Oh, so that none of it ever happened.
So none of it ever happens.
Oh,
Marty's
wow.
never compromised.
That
Nothing
would've
like
been
that.
good, actually. Like bittersweet. It would
Yeah.
have been good.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. So you fell down that rabbit hole? You
Yes,
said, yeah.
indeed. But the thing was, he had an alternate ending to his sad one, which made it even sadder.
Oh.
Okay.
So what's this podcast again?
Fix It.
Fix It.
But
Like it.
the sadder version was Doc would go back to the dock in the mall parking lot and tell him not to wear a vest.
Whoa.
So literally none of it would happen.
Whoa.
So when you go to listen to this podcast, friends, go listen to that one, enjoy it, and then come back here because
And share it.
and share it too.
Yeah. You could like put a comment on there like, I was pointed here by Eat Sleep Nerd.
There you go.
Hey,
There you go.
Yeah.
Plug.
We can all coexist.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we could all support each other. That's the thing.
There's even bumper stickers for it. Coexist.
So, like, for me, it would be going to Spider-Man No Way Home and letting Tobey Maguire Spider-Man die after
Wow.
he got stabbed.
He's really bitter about that.
Literally, no one asked for that.
I don't... Okay, again,
Every other episode, Jason tries to kill Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
I love Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. I loved it. But since they went with that choice to stab him in such a clearly a vital spot, they should have let him die. It would have had so much more gravitas. I'm just saying.
You say that, but also Tony Stark got stabbed in Infinity War in about the same way, and he
walked
was
it
fine.
off.
He
Yeah.
Walked it off. He was fine.
It's put some like antifreeze on it.
But it was, you knew Tony Stark was going to live. You knew, like,
I don't know. When I first saw it, I'm pretty sure I thought, "Oh my God, is he about to die? Are they
Yeah.
doing this right now?"
I was pretty upset. Of course, I thought the same thing when Tobey Maguire got stabbed.
I mean, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
So, but if they'd killed him, he couldn't come back for Secret Wars.
Right. But I think, I don't know. Anyway, I just think that it would have made the movie better if they had just stuck that landing a little harder.
You're not wrong. It would have had
Okay.
more emotional weight, but also
Yes.
you cannot kill the OG Spider-Man.
Well, then they should have figured out a different way for him to get taken out of that battle.
they should have killed.
They should have killed Andrew Garfield.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because everyone was getting super hyped and like, oh yeah, I remember him. He was actually really good. Oh damn, he's dead.
like he's my favorite, but also I think that would have probably been better. All right, Jason, let's keep it going. What did you nerd out on this week?
So can I go back 2 weeks?
Sure.
Because I wasn't here.
Yeah, this is
Oh
fair.
yeah,
He wasn't
yeah. He's
here.
got to make it up.
This is allowed.
Well, I think this is his punishment for not being here is that he doesn't get to tell us what he did.
Oh,
We don't
no.
care.
No.
Reminiscence for people who show up.
Oh, all right, fine. So this
No.
week,
Come on.
I just wanted to talk about an experience I had out in Denver. So I wanted to go visit my mom, and we went to this in Denver, and we went
Marijuana.
to this
A lot of pot.
Cannabis.
No.
Oh, okay.
She would not allow me to go check out any of those. Like, we're not doing that. My son.
My son.
My child.
My son.
My child. No. I said, and I don't know anything about this stuff. She goes, I said, what's the Green Cross? She looked at me. You don't know what the Green Cross is? I said, no. She goes, that's a dispensary. I'm like, ooh, can we check it out? No.
Thanks for
Anyway,
bringing it up, Mom.
Yeah. Just
Sorry, I guess we won't have a good time.
no. Right.
Moving on.
Not saying I would buy anything. I just kind of wanted to see. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, there was this attraction exhibit. I'm not sure experience called Meow Wolf.
Oh yeah, I've been there.
Oh, you've been to it.
Yeah.
Which one?
In Denver. Yeah.
In Denver. Okay. So apparently there's a few. There's one in Santa Fe and there's one in Las Vegas as well.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah, come on.
What?
Tell me.
I'm glad
what
you
is
guys
it?
are having fun, but what is it?
Okay. So it is like, okay, it's the experience is called Meow Wolf, but the location is called Convergence Station. And what it is it's like 5 different planets have converged in one location, and they're all alien planets. And you kind of walk around this art exhibit of what 5 different alien planets could potentially look like. And it is the most trippy, weirdest experience I've ever had in my life. And I still don't know what the heck I went through.
Okay.
But you could spend all day there and still not figure out what's going on, but at the same time be absolutely fascinated and entranced by it. And it is weird and crazy and futuristic. Everybody's apparently lost their memories there. Memory is currency. Like, memories are currency, and there's like memory ATMs all over the place. You trade them out for clues to figure out what the mystery is. And it's just fantastic. And so much creativity and expression went into it. It's just fantastic. So if you're ever out in Denver, go check it out. And if you guys, not everybody in the podcast world, but you guys, as in the Eat Sleep Nerd guys, I've got pictures on my Facebook page if you want to check it out. It's pretty awesome.
Nice.
I
Yeah,
probably
it's real
actually-
trippy.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like
Well,
this
did you
one
get the
room.
same experience, Christian?
Yeah. I walked around there for like an hour and was just entranced by literally everything. But there was like this really like small room. Like everything has like different rooms have different like sheets or whatever blocking the doorway. So you walk into a new space and you're like, oh my God. But there was like a little room that had like these snakes that were blocking the entrance. And you walked in, it was probably like a decent sized closet size, but all on the walls were like these masks with like different faces, and they're all over the ceiling. And there was like these lights zooming in and out of the ceiling. And there was like this weird like trance music happening. I walked in past the drapes. I was like, nope, can't be here. It was so creepy.
Yeah, there are some parts of it where it is creepy.
Just nope
and I got a
right out.
picture of that
Yeah.
room that you're talking about.
Yeah.
I got
yeah,
a picture
it's
of that. Yeah.
So weird.
So,
That's wild.
but yeah, so this week, I started watching Once Upon a Time on Disney. And it's, if anybody's not familiar with it, it's basically what if all the storybook characters got transported to our world and they forgot who they were, but they couldn't leave their little town that they're in.
Josh, why have I seen that?
I watched a lot of it. I watched it until they brought in the Frozen characters, and I was like, oh, there's the shark.
Because I feel like I watched it.
There's the shark.
I feel like I watched a lot of it accidentally. I guess it was because you were watching it.
No, I would say for like the first 3 to 4 seasons, solid, like really solid. It's a slow burn at first,
Yeah.
but once it gets going, it's actually a really cool concept.
It is. And one, I would actually say, pardon the pun, it's charming.
Oh.
Aha! No, but it is though. It is.
It is. Man, yeah.
Yeah. I would say it's an adult PG, but it's good. It's and they do keep you invested. So I finished season 1 on that. Pretty good. Did start playing Guardians of the Galaxy finally.
Yes.
And I made it through the first up until after he gets released from the Nova Corps. And it was absolutely enjoyable.
Yes.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. The gameplay is so much fun. The banter, the writing is great.
It's so good.
It has the spirit of the Guardians of the Galaxy that we know from the movies that made them so great. So
yeah,
I really enjoyed it.
And the music, like the score, is so good. It has been nominated for the first ever video game Grammy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's cool.
It's a major award.
Yeah.
It's a major award. Nice.
So yeah, everything about that game, absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
So
everything
hits.
Yeah, everything's is really good right now.
All right, Josh, bring us home.
So this was Black Friday week, Thanksgiving week.
Oh no.
And work at the largest box electronics store in the world. And
My poor friend.
it was rife with controversy and selfishness. But no, it was good. It was good. It's actually okay. So I say all that. Black Friday is probably my favorite sales day of the year. Like, I love that stuff. Like, having way too many people in there. It's a fire code violation. Everyone wants something. Like don't get me wrong. You'll get people who come in there and they're just like, "Hey, I need an HDMI cord." I'm just like, "What else?" And they're just like, "No, this is it." I'm like, "You came out on Black Friday because you needed an HDMI cord. This is what got you into this building." Yeah. Okay, cool. Bye. So like, it's wild, but no, like Corey said, spent all of the day before cooking the turkey. I was very honored to be the turkey cooker.
Best turkey I've ever had.
Kirky Tucker.
There it is. That's what I was
Nice.
looking for.
Wow.
Cooked it on the old Traeger.
Okay.
It was for those who don't know, Traeger is a wood pellet based smoker, and I actually got it on an accommodation through work. It was completely free. I won a competition.
Wow.
And
That's a good brand.
Yeah, it's a very good brand. It's like $1,000 smoker. But it uses what they cheekily call Wi-Fire. And there's
So audience, you
Man.
can't see it, but Christian just
shut down.
just shut down.
But no, they call it Wi-Fi. And it attaches to my phone. So as long as I have it loaded up with pellets, which it has a pretty big basket, keep it loaded up with pellets, use the probe to check the thing. I can monitor it all from my phone. It adjusts itself. Like it was the easiest thing ever. I went out there like once every hour to baste it, but that was about it. And yeah, it was the juiciest, most delicious turkey I've ever had in my entire life. So yeah, I was pretty proud of that. And played some Call of Duty. And no, that was about it. That was about it. It was a busy week.
Anytime anybody talks about a wood pellet grill, I like just imagine this grill that you feed like little rodent pellets to. Or just opens it. It opens its little receptacle, its reservoir, and go nom 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 nom, and eat the pellets.
Wow.
So the Green Cross, huh? After mommy went to sleep, I went back downstairs. Yeah.
To wrap up what I was saying earlier, so I did look it up. It was the Grammys. So it's the first ever Grammy Award for Best Soundtrack for video games and other interactive media. So the 5 nominees were Aliens Fireteam Elite, Assassin's Creed Valhalla Dawn of Ragnarok, Call of Duty Vanguard, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, and Old World. All right, so programming notes.
All right.
We are taking off next week. So what is next week? December 6th episode? Is that right? Sure.
Yes.
Yes, the December
You're
6th
on a
episode.
computer. Like you could look at
I didn't have it pulled up. I'm not as prepared today.
December
so I'm gonna
6th. I've confirmed that, yes.
We are taking off the week of December 6th because we're thinking not much is going to be happening, but we're also just, let's just take a break right before the big holiday season because lots of stuff is coming out in December. So on the following week, which will be our episode number 35, we'll be talking about Avatar, The Way of Water, The Whale, the Callisto Protocol, a new video game that I will be reviewing. We'll also be talking about Willow and Violent Night.
Yes.
Anyway, so it's going to be a jam-packed episode 35. So look out for that. But also next week, we will be taking a week off.
every time we take a week off, we're just like, nothing's going to happen. and then something major happens. So we're going to take this week off, and James Gunn is going to be like, oh, by the way, I used my connections at Marvel and DC. We're doing a crossover.
We probably should have taken this week off.
Yeah, this would have been a good week.
All right. See you guys later.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
Good
scene.
show. Yeah.
All right. Well, you guys ready to get into the nerdy news?
Look at to go.
All right. We don't have any big stories this week. Just some bullet points, but some things worth talking about. And the first one is near and dear to my heart because fans have been asking for this for 345 days. 345 days since Spider-Man No Way Home hit theaters. And people have been wondering, where the heck are the Funko Pops? Well, people, we finally have the Funko Pops. So Funko Pops has finally come out a year later to show us the official Funko Pops from No Way Home. We have an entire cast of characters. So obviously you have Tom Holland's Peter Parker, and you have Doctor Strange, and you have MJ. But you also finally get the villains. So you got Doc Ock and Green Goblin and Electro. But the best part is we actually have the trio of Spider-Mans. Spider-Man.
Spooderman.
Spider-Man.
So, it took a year to finally get the Tobey, Andrew, and Tom Holland Spider-Man characters from No Way Home in Funko Pop form. I have already pre-ordered all of these characters. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 that I have already paid for that will be coming in January. So
Where the hell is Ned?
I don't think they have
Oh
one.
my God. Ned with a cape would have been awesome.
Yeah, I don't
That
know.
would
I
have
don't
been
remember seeing him.
perfect. Should give you what's Zendaya with the MJ with the box and Ned with the cape would have been perfect. But no.
No, I do know that when the film originally came out, they did have like the base set of characters. So I do think Ned was in that first wave of
All right.
Funko Pops. But yeah, he's definitely not in this series.
Mm.
But
Also, can I say, why does the Green Goblin look so cute?
they're all cute.
Like, I know he's probably making like a
Doc
stern
Ock's,
face.
look at Doc
Ned,
Ock's
uh,
glasses.
Ned with the cape was a Gen 1.
There you go.
Oh,
Oh.
cool. Wow, look at
Yeah.
you go. Okay.
So
But anyway, I'm just excited that a year later we finally have the trio of Spider-Mans.
They do look pretty awesome.
a lot of the merch for No Way Home took forever.
Yeah.
Like Corey and I both collected the Hot Toys too.
Mhm.
And most of them are just now starting to ship for that. So that's, I don't know, that's weird.
That's super weird.
Aren't the Hot Toys though? Aren't they normally like a year out pre-orders?
I mean, yeah, they can be, but I don't know. It's just, I don't remember seeing much merch at all for No Way Home. Like toys, nothing.
Yeah, I think a part of it definitely was they were trying to keep the plot secret. But even then, like, where are the rest of the toys?
Yeah, like they never came, and that's
Yeah.
just a big miss for the
And
House
like-
of Mouse.
And like, usually the toys are what spoils movies. So the fact
Right.
that we didn't have the toys spoiling this movie.
Oh,
So it's
speaking of which, remember seeing Black Panther and they did like the merch trailer before the movie?
no.
I intentionally did
Actually-
not watch any of that because I didn't want to have anything spoiled.
Exactly.
So,
and that's what
yeah.
happened to me, really. You
Oh,
know,
no.
the whole debate on who was the Black Panther,
Oh, yeah.
and it had Shuri in the Black Panther costume without the helmet on. And I was like,
Oh.
Maybe
Are you
that's
serious?
why I was not surprised and everyone was like, oh, who's going to be the Black Panther? Because I already knew because they spoiled it.
Yeah.
Like, it was not a, it was
No,
not a
they
secret.
told us. Like we knew
Yeah.
like a year ago though. Like,
Yeah.
that it was going to be Shuri.
See, that was my thing. Like, I don't ever remember a time when it wasn't
Yeah.
known that it was Shuri.
it just had to be.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, to me, it was kind of like you were saying. It was like the first round of marketing, I felt like was really open about that.
Yeah.
And then as we got closer to it, they started acting like it was a mystery.
Right.
I was just kind of like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It would be like the Avengers coming out, and it's just like, who is Iron Man? Well, he said at the end of the first movie.
John Favreau.
Yeah. Ooh, that'd be a twist. Anyway, so yeah, Funko Pops. Finally. We don't get to talk about toys too much on on this podcast, but finally there was something that I was wanting to talk about.
I would just like to point out several times that I have often shared toy articles during the week, and we very rarely hit those. Just saying, it's not like we've not had the option to cover them.
This one's about Spider-Man, so
Yeah, this one's about Spider-Man.
I'm very biased by the person who's running the podcast.
All right, the next story. James Cameron, he did an interview with GQ recently.
I believe it was pronounced.
Good.
He told GQ that The Way of Water, the upcoming Avatar movie, is, I quote, very effing expensive to make, though he didn't share an exact figure. He did refer to the movie as, quote, the worst business case in movie history, unquote, before revealing that the long-awaited sequel would need to rank highly in the global box office charts just to break even. And I quote, you have to be the third or fourth highest grossing film in history. That's your threshold. That is your break even. Now, looking at the top box office, the top 5 currently was the original Avatar movie that made nearly $3 billion. Then Avengers Endgame with $2.7 billion, Titanic, another James Cameron movie, with $2.2 billion, Star Wars The Force Awakens with $2.07 billion, and then it would need to edge out Infinity War to make the top 5, which just barely did not make $2 billion.
Wow.
So he's saying this movie has to make $2 billion
to break even.
to make a profit.
what he's really saying it has to be better than Infinity War.
Yeah.
When I first read that, when that came out, my first question was, is this just a statement about it? Or is this a plea for people to please go see my movie?
That's what I'm kind of thinking.
Well,
I'm kind of wondering if he's actually thinking this might bomb.
Well, I do think
Right.
the reality of it has hit him a little bit, because I don't remember if it was the GQ interview or one that he did before that, because I know he did one for entertainment. But in one of them, he was saying that he's already ready to trim it down from 5 movies to 4 movies if he has to. So I'm wondering if someone finally sat him down and was just like, yo, Jimmy, just so you know, people might not give a crap about your movie. But it's also worth noting that, and this part keeps getting left out, number 2 and number 3 were filmed consecutively. Like the footage for 3 has already been shot.
Yeah.
Or motion captured, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
So he may be feeding that into the break-even number. I don't know.
Well, did they have separate budgets, or
I don't know.
Well,
That's
what
the
were you
part that I
guys
don't
take?
know.
What were you guys take on the original Avatar? Like,
nothing special?
I think that movie came out at exactly the right time, because it was a little bit of a turbulent era.
mhm.
It was pure escapism. So I don't know. I feel like if that movie had been released at any other time, it would still be well regarded. But I don't know. It's also worth noting that both of his movies on that top 5 list got to that as a gross total over multiple releases.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, everyone forgets Titanic was in theaters for literally a year and a half. It just kept going.
And it's been re-released.
Right.
And it's been
re
re-released a couple times. Avatar has been re-released, I think, 3 times now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and simply just out of spite for Endgame.
Yeah.
literally, literally,
Yeah.
they just didn't want Endgame to be the most successful movie of all time.
He's like,
So-
no.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure it will do well,
Yeah.
but if this is the threshold, $2 billion,
So I mean, we're gonna go see it, and I think
Of course
we're
we
all
are.
kind of in agreement, because we're gonna go see it because it is culturally significant to go see
Nerdily.
this movie.
nerdily significant.
Yeah, but I personally do not care about it.
Right. Same.
I'm putting it out there. I do not care about.
And
this
that's the
movie.
thing too, because it's like it's been how long since the first movie?
Like
10 years.
10 years.
Yeah,
something
10
like that.
years. Like,
Literally 10 years.
why should we care?
Yeah.
After 10 years, like it's like the first movie to your question, Jason. Like it was visually stunning.
Right.
Story.
It
Was just
like
everything else.
yeah,
Mhm.
like it's the things that made the first one interesting are the things that I'm looking forward to in this one. And that is just from a technical standpoint, it'll be breathtaking. I have no doubt.
Yeah.
Doesn't make it a good movie.
Yeah. Already based on the trailers, I have zero interest in the story. Like,
Yeah.
there is nothing in those trailers that grab me other than the visuals.
Exactly. Like the fact that we can do that with computers is
Mhm.
why I'm going to see the movie.
Right. And now it's getting to the point to where video games are essentially doing the same thing, and then you can control the story.
Yeah,
So
Exactly.
I mean,
Correct.
so it actually these movies are going to have to start relying on story again
Scary thought.
because you can get that on your PS5, PS4, Xbox, whatever, and
And video games, generally speaking, have pretty good stories.
they do.
Like even Call of Duty that can just cash in on just multiplayer alone. They're still putting out good stories. Like,
Not even that. GTA 5.
yeah,
Great
yeah.
story.
yeah. I mean, yeah, it was. So anyway, yeah, very good point, Jason. That video games definitely are, in our opinion, I guess, a collective opinion, they are putting out better stories than movies right now. In most cases,
They are. Mhm.
And it has been 13 years since Avatar came out, December
Wow.
2009.
Oof.
Making
So-
that point even worse.
If you ended up having a child that year, they would be getting into 7th grade now.
You'd be talking about
Same for it, yeah.
you'd be talking about learning to drive. This movie
be
would be
getting
able
there.
to drive soon.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
a couple years. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah,
All right, moving on to our next story. This one, it's kind of heartbreaking. So Chris Hemsworth, he came out a couple weeks ago. He found out he is predisposed
Predisposed.
to
He has
the
precursors for Alzheimer's.
for Alzheimer's, and so he's taking a break officially from acting so he can spend more time with his family. So that by itself is heartbreaking. But he has now expanded a little bit more in an interview with Variety, saying that he is ready to, quote, close the book on his time as Thor, and that the next potential appearance in the MCU will likely be Thor's final chapter.
you know, I think it's sad. It's bittersweet because I think 10, 12 years. How long has he been playing Thor? Quite some time.
I think his first movie came out in 2009. Is that right?
Yeah.
2009,
So it's
2010.
over.
Yeah, 2009. So we're
Yeah.
at 13 years now, almost 14. So, I think it makes sense. He's kind of aging out of the role, and not because he can't play it, but just because I'm certain he probably has other things he wants to do. So,
Well, it's also just kind of sad because clearly with the past couple of appearances, he's having a lot of fun playing Thor.
true.
And I think even in the press for Thor Love and Thunder, he was like, I'm going to keep playing this character as long as possible.
Well, and then it wasn't very well received.
Yeah.
The characterization is not. I mean, we've talked about it before. We feel like it's a regression.
Right, but that's writing. That's not.
Yeah, that's not
Him.
that's not Chris, that's writing.
Yeah, but they changed the styling when he said that after Thor: The Dark World,
Yeah.
that they either needed to lighten it up or he was no longer interested in playing Thor. So now we're 2 movies into the himbo phase, and it's not being well received, and he's gotten the news that maybe his lifestyle might change and stuff. So I don't know. I feel like staying in shape like that is a lot of work
Yeah, that too.
to not be well received. I think it's a meetup of a lot of different factors, but I just know that if I had to eat bird scratch and work out 84 times a day, just for people to be like, yeah, your movie wasn't that good, bro. It'd make me reevaluate things.
And then, like, for the ending of his career, it wouldn't, for me right now, I wouldn't be that sad. I'd be like, oh, you did some great stuff.
Yeah.
But like you said, Josh, like the regression the past few movies, and I'm like, all right, cool. There's Thor. And
Yeah.
that's the end. That's
There he
the
is.
end.
Yeah. So I don't know. If the next outing is his last one, I hope they manage to bring back a little bit of trying to think of a better word. No, I'm going to go with it. Dignity to his character.
That's a good one.
Like right now, he does not strike me as a god of anything. Like you've got the powers and everything, but like there's no regality there. There's no presence there.
Yeah.
So I hope he gets to go out in a great way.
There is I believe it was an improv piece of humor from Dark World, which I think but combines that regality and a levity that I think would be more appropriate to Thor, which was when he hung his hammer on the coat hook when he walked in the door.
Yeah.
That was respectful, but also kind of funny. And he was trying to be dignified, but in a very fish out of water funny way. And I thought I think that would be, if he could go back to that kind of humor, or even he plays the complete straight man and everything could be, funny around him. Funny,
it's what we talked about, the difference between Ragnarok and Love and Thunder was.
Right, exactly.
And Ragnarok was a humorous movie, but Love and Thunder made Thor the joke.
Yeah, you're right.
And that's what the difference was.
Yeah, I'd rather him tell jokes or say something funny rather than be the joke.
Yeah, he can he was an idiot in Love and Thunder. He was not an idiot in Ragnarok. He was actually really clever and funny. That's okay. We were cool with Ragnarok. Everyone loved Ragnarok.
And flawed. That's flawed in not a stupid way.
Yeah, but that's been his character thing. I mean, it's very mythologically based, is that the hero has flaws. Hubris in his case. But yeah, anyway, we've tangented it. But
it happens.
Well, we said we were going to riff on this one, so.
All right, we'll riff on this. So moving so moving from one actor retiring to the next. So Gary Oldman, the legend. In a recent interview with the Sunday Times, the 64-year-old actor said he is looking forward to pursuing other interests beyond performing. And I quote, "I've had an enviable career, but careers wane. I do have other things that interest me outside of acting. When you're young, you think you're going to get around to doing all of them. Read that book. Then the years go by. I'm 65 next year. 70 is around the corner. I don't want to be active when I'm 80. Unquote. The Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy star suggested that he might be happy finishing out his career on his Apple TV Plus show, Slow Horses, where he plays the intelligence officer Jackson Lamb. And I quote one more time, "I'd be very happy and honored and privileged to go out as Jackson Lamb and then hang it up." So Gary Oldman.
Living up to his name.
An Academy Award-winning actor.
What?
I just got that. So Gary Oldman, an Academy Award-winning actor.
He just got old.
He won the Academy Award for Best Actor for his role as Winston Churchill in 2017's Darkest Hour. He has also been the villain in such films as The Fifth Element, Air Force One, The Contender, and tons of other ones. He played James Gordon in the Dark Knight trilogy. He played Sirius Black in the Harry Potter series. He has done other movies, such as, obviously, The Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. He has done numerous other films. JFK. Gosh, the list goes on. He has done so much.
Fifth Element was
right.
So good.
Did you know that's not one of his favorite movies? Like that's one of his least favorite.
And that's sad.
I know that makes me sad because he was so amazing.
So looking at his Wikipedia page under his reception and legacy, like he's still acting and he already has a reception and legacy section on his Wikipedia page. That's how significant he is. The list of big actors that consider him like the best active actor, it's insane. Like Christian Bale, Hugh Jackman, Benedict Cumberbatch, Johnny Depp, Michael Fassbender, Jessica Chastain, Jennifer Lawrence. Like the list is enormous about people that consider him the best actor.
I have not seen him in a bad role. I'm trying to think.
Gary Oldman is never bad.
Right. I've seen him in bad movies.
Yeah. Even if the movie isn't great, Gary Oldman is never bad.
Like, wasn't he the bad guy in The Hitman's Bodyguard?
Yes.
Yeah. And he was like a
Putin
surprise
adjacent.
bad guy. You're like, ooh.
Yeah, that was the other thing. I never got the vibe that he was like too snooty to do a movie. You know what I mean? Like, Hitman's Bodyguard is not exactly what you would call high art. It's hilarious. Like, I like that movie, but it is by no means like an artistic film. But they hit up Gary Oldman and he was like, yeah, okay. Like, he has the prestige that he could have been like, it's insulting that you even called me. But he didn't. He was like, yeah, I'll do it. Whatever.
So Christian Bale called him the reason I'm acting.
Wow.
Anthony Hopkins, Ralph Fiennes, Keanu Reeves, and a few others have used the term genius in reference to Oldman's acting. John Hurt called him the best of the bunch. Colin Firth held him as a very strong candidate for the world's best living actor.
Wow.
And Roger Ebert held him as one of the great actors able to play high, low, crass, noble, etc. That's some high praise.
He deserves
that
it
is a
all.
lot of high praise. Mhm. It almost sounds like we're doing like a little eulogy here. He
Well, it's kind of nice to talk about someone's career before they die.
That's
for
true.
once.
That is very true, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's. I will definitely miss seeing him in movies. Because anytime it's like, and Gary Oldman, you're like, ooh, I'm watching that.
Like, it's going to
Yeah.
be good. Yeah.
Definitely will turn it on.
Well, I hope he enjoys getting to do whatever it is he wants to.
Yeah, he absolutely has, and he's clearly had a long run as an actor. He has every right to shut it down and chill for the remainder of his life.
Yeah, like we glamorize that career, but at the end of the day, it is a career. Like they're allowed to say, "Hey, I'm
I'm done."
good." Yeah, like I'm done. So yeah, it'll suck not seeing him around. Maybe he'll pop in and out, get bored, and come back and do something. But we'll see.
I'm just glad he finally got that Academy Award. Like his career, like he was in the acting career for a long time before he got his first big award. 2017. It took him that long to get his first Oscar.
Yeah, because he was going in the 80s. So what? Almost 40 years.
Yeah.
That's okay. The Oscars are a load of crap.
It's for the love of the game,
Yeah.
See
All
what you did there. But Christian, yeah, I agree. The Fifth Element, that's where I've really started to appreciate him as an actor.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I didn't even know that was him until I was much older.
Yeah, same.
Well, I think that's kind of where I was introduced to him.
Dracula. We didn't mention Dracula.
Oh.
There's a reason
no,
for
he
that.
was-
No, I'm
he was
kidding.
Dracula and Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh, so I remember the actor now.
Okay.
I ran into Billy Bob Thornton
Oh,
Cool.
Yeah.
on the streets of Florence.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
I yelled at him before he entered his bus. I was like, "Hey, I love Bad Santa." Come to find out, he hated doing Bad Santa.
Like all the movies, you picked the one.
Right? That one.
So Sling Blade is the safe one. Always yell
Of
that you
course.
love Sling Blade. That was his
Probably
name.
Armageddon. You can be safe with Armageddon.
Ooh, I forgot about that one.
Mm.
All right, let's get into our spoiler review section of Guardians of the Galaxy, the holiday special, as well as the entire first season of Star Wars Andor. Let's start
Andor
with
what?
Every time. All right, let's start with Guardians of the Galaxy, the holiday special. A joyous good time. What'd you guys think about it?
I hated the first half of it.
So I'm glad you said that. Also, I was the same.
I was ready to turn that off for about the first
They
25 minutes.
they stuck with the Mantis Drax storyline way too long.
Way too long.
Way too long.
And I'll say it, I did not like Palm Clementius kind of over the topness for Mantis this time. Like, I just felt like she was just overacting so hard.
Side character. And,
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
never seen Mantis like that. It is kind of on character for that character in the comic books. But for the first time we're seeing that character like this in live action, it was definitely weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, allow me to counterpoint myself by saying, by the end of the show, I was really enjoying it.
Mhm.
Like I'm glad I watched it by the end of it. But yeah, for the first 30 minutes, I'm not. Oof! I was just like, this is what everyone is saying is so good. Like, this is what people are freaking out over.
I'm wondering if like I just have a different perspective on movies in general these days. I loved the entire thing.
Oh yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, I sat there with a grin on my face the entire show.
It was almost like, for me, you with Mantis, me with Drax. It was almost like they kept in the parts when they were filming it, where everyone's silent
Mhm.
and then speaks. Because it almost seemed like Drax was just like, and then this. It was like a huge pause for some reason, even though he's really animated into a certain point, but it almost felt like he was really dumbed
Yeah,
down.
I definitely got that sense. But yeah, it was really just when it was only Mantis and Drax doing their
The
solo scenes.
The abduction sequence
Yeah,
was just weird.
Like that
So-
was the majority of the show. It was like half an hour of them trying to abduct Kevin Bacon. I feel like they could have cut that down a little bit and focused more on the.
Yeah, I would have liked that part trimmed down and more of what happened after they got back and actually did Christmas.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I enjoyed the sentimentality of it. I liked the actual Christmas portion of it. Even I guess we'll call it the cold open on Nowhere. Like that was fun. Even with the band. I can't remember their name.
The 97s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say their real life name, the 97s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that was cool. I enjoyed all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Just the abduction sequence was just weird, and I can't even tell you exactly why I vehemently despised it.
Well, it's 100% unrealistic. I mean, on top of it being a superhero thing, it's just that it could never happen like that. I get that.
Yeah,
part.
it was just so out there. It was just weird.
And it's like, obviously, it's a universe where superheroes exist. But then again, do you think Kevin Bacon has experienced an alien with like little things coming out of her face?
Well, so that was what I got stuck on. Doesn't everybody know who Drax is? Like, wasn't he like one of the people that was celebrated
known to
after
have
Endgame?
saved the world.
Yes, like people should know who he is, right?
Or at least recognize him.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Anyway, so like I mean, I get it. This also wasn't supposed to be the most serious portion of the MCU.
Yeah, it was supposed to be ridiculous.
Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like there was a line, and for about 20 minutes, we crossed that line.
But anyway, so some positives. So the opener, like the opening scene, it was all animated. That was super cool. And we brought back what's his name?
Michael Rooker.
Oh, Michael
Rooker. Yeah.
Alabama boy, by the way.
Woo! Roll Tide.
So that was a nice little touch on the Christmas thing. We got a very not in depth, but like we finally got Cosmo in a bigger capacity, which I have been
I
excited
did enjoy
for.
that.
Yes.
I liked Cosmo.
And like Josh was saying, the intro song, that was probably the best Christmas song of all time.
I think that may be my new favorite Christmas song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah.
So obviously Kevin Bacon, he was a big part of this, which just by itself was awesome. Like we got Kevin Bacon as Kevin Bacon.
Right.
Okay. We found out that Mantis, the big story thing is that Mantis is actually Quill's sister.
Half sister. Yes.
Which was not unbelievable.
Yeah. I
Right?
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was kind of Ego's whole thing in the MCU, was trying to create progeny.
Yeah.
So no, totally believable. I'm completely on board with that.
Quill has family.
Is that
Yeah.
canon by any chance? Is that in
Not that I'm
comics?
aware of.
Okay.
Not that I'm aware of. But it makes sense.
I meant to look that up and I forgot to
Yeah.
find out.
I'll allow it. I like it.
So
And so it shall be.
yeah. So I don't know. I found the 45 minutes absolutely endearing and fun and charming. I was on board when they did the old Sunday night special logo at the beginning.
Mhm.
They used to have in the 80s. And then they did the Marvel logo with the Christmas comic cuts from Christmas Marvel comics. And then it was just really kind of cheesy in a Christmas special kind of way. I think it was intentionally like that. And I picked up on that. And I think that allowed me to just enjoy the ride because I had zero expectations after that. Once I realized they were just leaning into like the cheesy Christmas special kind of thing, I was totally on board. Like all logic was out the window and I was okay with it.
We know that we're getting a volume 3, Guardians of the Galaxy third
Right.
movie, next year.
Right.
And the theory is that it's probably going to be the last time we see most of these actors in these roles. James Gunn came out and did an interview after this special aired, saying that they actually filmed volume 3 and the holiday special pretty much at the same time.
Oh, cool.
Even on some days, actually going back and forth with which one they were filming. And he said because the volume 3 is actually a much more serious, darker tone than they're used to in the Guardians franchise, the actors were like delighted to actually go and film the holiday special because actually they got a chance to actually lift their spirits up again, like in real life,
Nice.
because they were so down the dumps from having to film volume 3. So,
Wow. Gamora was absent in this movie.
and it makes sense, but also it's kind of sad that
Yeah.
we did not get her in this. But yeah, from what we know, she is still missing in action. Quill's still looking for her.
Right.
Also, Bucky's arm. So Nebula gifted Bucky's arm to Rocket. How does she have Bucky's arm?
I feel like that's not something we're supposed to take too seriously. I don't imagine this being an ongoing plot point.
I don't know. It was
Right.
Like, is it another arm? Because
Well,
like the last
it
time we saw him,
looked-
he was on Earth.
It looks like the Wakanda arm that he got at the beginning of Infinity War. So it would
did.
stand to reason that after several large battles, he probably has a different arm.
maybe.
He probably had a different arm in Endgame. We just didn't really get to see it because he got dusted.
That's true.
So
Right.
it was a throwback to the end of the Infinity War during the battle scene where Rocket met up with Bucky and he was like, "How much for the arm?" So like it was a fun little callback.
Yeah. Well, right.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Okay, so the part that made me bust out laughing the hardest was when they're trying to calm down Kevin Bacon after he's come out of the Christmas box.
Right.
And Rocket's just like, look, man, no one's gonna hurt you. And then he's like, the talking raccoon's like, I'll freaking kill you. Like lunges at. So I mean, like that made me laugh really hard.
It was James Gunn humor at its best, I think.
But it was just so fast. And it was just, I don't know, that made me laugh. But yeah, like I want to drive home like I did enjoy it once it was all said and done. But that weirdness was weird.
It was just weird that Mantis was kind of like the focus of the story for like the first half of it. Like of all the characters, she was like the big main actor.
But and see, I liked her change in demeanor, like her being a little more aggressive. And
I think
I
that's
thought-
what changed it for me. I didn't.
Yeah,
I
but
did
for me,
not.
it was like a natural progression, especially if she's hanging out with Drax more.
Yeah.
You know, for
Fair.
see, it completely
Fair.
made sense to me, and I found it humorous. To see
I
this
did like
little
their dynamic.
Yeah, this little demure, quiet superhero to go kind of little hyper on her emotion. I found it funny.
Then to turn around and like completely pwn like 6 officers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Goddamn.
Non-violently though.
Yes.
Non-violently.
It's like Drax,
Well,
you can't kill people.
non-lethally. I guess not
Right.
non-violently.
Here's a candy cane. We're even now.
I'm gonna try that from now on.
Just gonna carry a couple.
I'm going to recommend against it.
All right, let's
no.
let's review this sucker. So, Guardians of the Galaxy, the holiday special, the one-off leading up to Volume 3. Ooh,
He hasn't actually thought about his score until just now.
man, I think I'm going to give it a 5 because, like Jason is saying, like it was a good time. I laughed through all of it, and that's what's important. Is I had a good time, so I'm giving it a 5. Could I give it a 4? Yeah, but I'm giving it a 5.
All right.
Christian,
I'm gonna play by Jason's rules and do like a 4.75.
oh, not one of those again.
I have made a convert.
Again, loved it, but certain things took me out of it for me.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Josh,
Mine will be a firm but fair 4 Kevin Bacons out of 5.
there you go. And Jason.
I'm gonna go with Christian here, 4.75. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it, but it wasn't perfect.
That puts us across the board at a 4.63.
I think that's solid.
Out of
Yeah,
5.
feels fair.
you know, I literally was about to say 4.63. I was like, no, let me not be difficult.
All right, let's.
trust in yourself, young Padawan.
Oh, thank you for the segue. Star Wars Andor.
Which had no
Had no
Padawans
Jedi.
or the
Yeah.
Force.
So horrible segue, Jason. You suck.
But
Uh,
is that what made it good?
So yes, I think so. So Star Wars Andor, the entire season 1, I think it was awesome because it didn't have the typical Star Wars things. Like it was very clearly set in the same universe, but it did not rely on the Star Wars brand to carry it.
It was the first piece that did exactly what we've all been saying Star Wars needs to do, which is to actually move on from the original story.
Yeah, like still set in the same timeline,
Which
still
the
ties
irony,
in.
the irony being that this sets up the original story. But
It's not the same characters though.
yeah, it got away from all the Skywalkers, all the Palpatines, all the which God, that just feels so stupid leaving my mouth. All the Palpatines. Oh my God. Anyway, but yeah, it got away from all of that, and it focused on people who are not particularly important in any way, and that's what made what they did important.
Mhm.
It focused on quote unquote real people,
Right.
in this universe.
Well, I think Star Wars had an issue where it was getting really, really small, despite the fact that it was supposed to be like this huge universe. Like it was zeroing in so hard on these
Two
small
little families.
Yeah. And so this story of Andor is actually building the universe back up again because it is zooming out, still tied in, still same story, but different characters. So it's making it feel bigger again. I think that's why it was so good.
And not once did we go to Tatooine. A plus. Not once.
Solid story.
Right.
Solid story. Didn't go to Tatooine.
Yeah, I can't think of a single time they had a lightsaber, the Force.
They didn't.
And even the first few episodes, I think I actually made a note of when I first saw a stormtrooper. Like it was very far into the show before a stormtrooper popped up.
It was like episode 7 or something.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like we got some TIE fighters and stuff early on, but like aside from that and droids, there was nothing Star Warsy about it until the very end. And so if you took the Star Wars out of it, it would still be a solid thriller.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But again, it also made the Star Warsiness awesome when you finally got to see it.
Yeah.
Like it meant more, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it goes along with your thing with like the show me, not tell me thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's technically as Jason's saying.
No, no.
But I'm a
It's all
firm
right.
believer
I'll
in
allow it.
Jason's thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good tenant to hang on to, so anybody can have it. I really enjoyed it just all the way through. There was the one thing that I really remembered not liking initially was that the droid unit, the red droid unit. I was like, oh God, they're doing another droid thing. But at the end,
Not everything needs a cute droid.
Yeah.
exactly. That's what I was saying. But at the end,
It's for the toys. all about toys.
I was okay with it, and well, it was also part of the finale, so it wasn't just the toys. It was instrumental because it projected the hologram.
Yeah.
Right.
So even backing up a couple episodes from then, in episode 10, I believe, when we found out that Andor's mom died,
Yeah.
and they were actually talking to the droid about how she's no longer there and everything, like they were going to take him away. It was a sad robot, and it made me sad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was pretty heart wrenching.
It was
Mhm.
awful.
Yeah.
It was so sad.
Like
It
all
was.
the sad beep boops.
Yeah. Like robots don't have feelings, but dang, gave me some.
So that was I think that was a shift for me. It shifted on my appreciation of that droid.
Oh, okay.
So
It shifted.
I think mentioning the toys actually brings up a fairly good point again about why I think this show in particular is so successful and is resonating so much with us. Is it's irresponsible to ignore the business sense and the idea that a lot of what we see in these big blockbusters is built around the idea of we have to merchandise the movie, right? It was a known fact on all of the old Batman movies that the reason Batman changed costumes 2 or 3 times throughout the movies because they had to sell additional toys.
Mhm.
So he needed to have the scuba outfit in the movie because I needed to sell a scuba toy. There is no real merchandise for Andor. Like, that was not a concern. And because we weren't having to worry about making toys, we were able to just focus on the story and do a story that makes sense and works and could be for a more adult audience. Because I don't know if a lot of younger kids, like 10-year-olds and stuff like that, are going to watch Andor. They could. Like, there's nothing inappropriate in it. But I don't feel like that was the target audience. I felt like we were the target audience. People who loved Star Wars growing up, and now here's an adult-oriented, not an adult content, but an adult-oriented Star Wars. And I think that's why we all liked it so much, is for once we were the exact audience that it was meant for.
Yeah, we weren't spoon-fed anything. We were.
Yeah, there was no frills, there was no fluff, there was no, oh, well, they did that for the toy. There was no,
Right, yeah.
like, Like, we got to just have an actual story based around something we like.
And the whole like suspense that was held throughout like
The whole
several
show, yeah.
episodes
Yeah.
was fantastic.
Like taking it back to the beginning, one of the first episodes, there was this scene where the TIE fighter was flying over, and like that was like, oh my god, are they going to be seen? Are they going to be seen? That was suspenseful. But even I think it was towards the end, they were interrogating, like the entire opening part of the episode was them interrogating what's her name?
Bix. You talking about his friend on the planet on the
Yeah.
Bix.
And it essentially turned into torture, but like that entire scene was drawn out and kind of, it was dark, probably the darkest Star Wars has really gotten.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that was suspenseful.
Yeah.
Because
And
this time it didn't have Daniel Craig in a stormtrooper outfit.
Yeah.
And you know, and later on when we saw the effects of that, the torture on her, you felt for her. Like
That was a lingering thing.
she was hurting, and
Yeah.
she looked
it didn't
rough.
go away just because she got out.
Right. No.
Yeah.
So she's going to be dealing with that for a long time, clearly. Yeah, it was very, it was, there was more realism in the human condition added to these stories. And I think that made it it resonated. It helped the stories resonate better. I liked how the stormtroopers and the Empire became more intimidating. Like these stormtroopers could aim and kill, and nobody was, when they finally had the revolt at the end, like it was people died. A lot of people died, and the stormtroopers just fired at will, and it was different than what we've been making fun of for the last 10, 15 years, 20 years,
30 years.
It took itself seriously.
Right.
And you're right. That adds a sense of, I don't know, I guess suspense, just because I can't think of a better
Gravitas.
word. Yeah. But like, I mean,
Tension.
like I never really worried about anyone dying in the new trilogy. Like that was never really a concern. Felt like plot armor was pretty thick. And like even now, like we know obviously Andor's going to make it to the end of the show.
For a while. Right.
But well, I mean, he'll make it to the end of the show.
Well, yeah, true.
But like beyond that, again, the whole point is that these are not particularly significant people. They're just doing something significant. I'm going to say the absolute standout moment for the entire show for me was Luthen's monologue for why he does it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like basically how he's given up on being a good person because it doesn't matter. And that essentially the ends will justify the means, he hopes.
Mhm.
But that's also why he's not going to let anyone mess it up. Because if
he won't
end
get
is
to
not
enjoy
good,
the fruits of what he's doing.
yeah, but if he can't guarantee that end, then everything he's doing is for nothing, and he's not going to let that happen. So, again, old Daddy Skarsgård.
Yeah, we had Daddy Skarsgård, obviously a standout, but also Andy Serkis.
Oh, big
Completely
surprise.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
completely
Yeah.
unexpected. Had no idea that was coming.
And the episode where they're actually breaking out of the prison, he has essentially his monologue where he's talking over the speakers to all the prisoners about this is their moment and everything. That was a pretty emotional scene. But also, did he die?
We don't know.
It's a little ambiguous.
Yeah.
I'm hoping he comes back just because I think Andy Serkis is an amazing actor. And because 80% of his work is motion captured, I don't think he gets the credit that he deserves.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I hope he comes back just because it's Andy Serkis.
Because like we saw him on the edge of the thing before everyone's jumping off and he says he can't swim. And they cut away as soon as Andor falls over the edge. And I was expecting them to come back and like show us at least his death scene if that was the way it was going to go. But they just never came back to him at all. It was just like that was the last we saw of him. We're just like, come on, give me some closure.
It's like the typical off-screen death.
Yeah.
Does it happen?
Yeah,
We
I don't
don't
know.
know.
So, and maybe they don't know yet. Maybe that's why they did it that way. Maybe they're not sure whether or not they're going to bring back that character.
But then also, let's just talk about Andor himself. So like the last time we talked about this show, our biggest complaint was that Andor was not his own main character, his own main role, leading man for the show that was named after him. Have our thoughts changed?
Yes.
Yes.
Indubitably.
Well, no, I mean, it goes back to the conversation between him and Luthen. Because the entire premise of the conversation, is he going to kill him or is he not? It comes back down to the only reason Luthen considered him expendable and a loose end is because he was hired as a gun, basically. He's not a true believer, or at least he wasn't. You know, he was a guy who's in a tough spot, and I'm giving him a way out, but I'm going to use him as a tool. I think him realizing that Andor's become a true believer, which unfortunately will ultimately lead to his demise, that completely changed. And so, no, I mean, I think he's arguably at this point probably the best character arc in Star Wars.
Whoa.
As far
All
as like
right.
actual growth.
All right.
Yeah, because for me, these kind of stories, you see like the main protagonist is made to be the hero, and it,
Yeah.
like in the other Star Wars, like the stormtroopers could never aim or whatever, so you're like, oh, he's gonna be all right, but he actually had stakes, near death experiences, so it's like he had to form himself into that hero that we knew that
He would
ultimately
ultimately be.
yeah.
So no,
Right.
I mean, it's an excellent point though. Like Luke Skywalker is great, and he probably has the second or third, depending on how you want to debate it, best arc in Star Wars. But fundamentally, it's like you said, he was always going to be the hero. And aside from choosing to be the hero, that's pretty much all the growth he did until the new trilogy, which depressed, failed Luke is my favorite part of the new trilogy. And Jason and I have talked about this before.
Yeah.
Because I think that was the perfect way to cap off his character arc because it was so straightforward from the beginning. The only growth that could possibly happen would be if he failed.
Exactly.
And he did. So that was good. And then the other one obviously being Darth Vader, his big redemption arc. Yeah, like this is a guy who went from basically having nothing, believing in nothing, scrounging on day to day, ultimately ends up saving the universe.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Well, I think initially, one of our discussions was, again, how much the story didn't seem to be very much about Andor at all. And
Right.
we were wondering if he was just going to be like, like the droids, just kind of being an observer, watching the rebellion grow. But as the series went on, he clearly became a more important character. And I wonder if that was intentional, that he got more of a story the more important he became to the rebellion.
Yeah.
And as his growth became, as he grew into more of an important character. Like he was just on the sidelines. He wasn't just watching. He wasn't part of the story. And that's how come we didn't get a lot of him initially. And then as time went on, we got more of him because he became more involved, whether by choice or not. It doesn't matter.
Well, all right. Sounds like we're wrapping it up. So let's go ahead and score the entire first season of Star Wars Andor. And keeping in mind, we actually still have one more season to go. And it's kind of sounding like they're kind of treating it as just one big thing. But we're just going to score it for what we have so far. So Star Wars Andor Season 1. Last time we checked in, obviously Christian was not here to give it a score. But last time we checked in, the three of us, Jason, Josh, and myself, Josh had it at a 3. I also had it at a 3, and Jason had it at a 2.75. So we were not feeling too great about it after, I think it was...
I was going to say, bear in mind, it
episodes.
was 3 episodes in.
Right.
And again, it had a slow start. It was a slow burn.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and score it now that we have 12 episodes under our belts. Who wants to go first?
I guess I'll go first.
Oh, no, Christian. You go.
Weird. Just because I wasn't here. No, just to add that in.
Throwing that. That
that's
wasn't
fair.
your card.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Yeah, but like I said, it's like the story itself was gripping after those 3 episodes. That I was kind of like, really, this is what we're watching? This is what this is? But yeah, like, and then all the major surprises and things like that. But I'd probably place it in my Star Wars-ness at probably like a 8.5.
We're in a 5-star scale, sir.
Oh, sorry. See, it was so great.
That would be like a 4.25.
4.25. 4.25.
That sounds fair. Yeah,
All right,
4.25.
Oh man, see, I wish I could give decimal points. I'm gonna give it a 4. I'm gonna stick to my guns. And Josh.
I also kind of wish I did decimal points.
Yeah.
But no, sticking to my scale, I'm going to give it 5 under construction Death Stars out of 5.
Whoa. All right. Feeling good.
See, because of the post credits scene.
Yeah, that.
Mm.
Yeah, we all kind of saw coming. I
Yeah,
guess.
no, I was gonna say, like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like-
yeah,
like, it
that
was
was
neat.
not
like
surprising.
it was neat, but like it wasn't a surprise. It can't be a surprise. Like it couldn't.
But it was more like, see, I knew it. It wasn't like a downer. It was like, yes, I knew it.
Yeah. It's getting serious. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Jason, bring it home. What are you giving it?
All right. So, if you recall when we were talking about the Halo thing, like if the Madrigal thing paid off, I was gonna bump everything back up.
Mhm.
So that's what happened with this. My Madrigal stuff paid off, and everything paid off in the end for me. So this ended up being a 5.
All right.
The ever elusive Summer 5.
Right.
Summer. Yeah, looking back at Jason's scores, he has only ever given 3 5s. It was Nope, Star Wars Andor now, and House of the Dragon.
Not everything everywhere all at once. Oh, nope. The fight scene on the staircase at the end.
Right. That's right. Wow. Good memory, sir.
Thanks.
All right, so across the board, for all 4 of us, we're giving it a 4.56 out of 5.
Feels right.
Nice.
Feels good. Feels good. We've been giving a lot
Yeah.
of
Nice and cozy.
4+ lately.
There's been a lot of good stuff lately.
All right. All right, that wraps us up for, what is this, episode number 34 of Eat, Sleep, Nerd.
Woo!
Don't forget that next week we are taking off for, I guess we're calling a holiday break. Why not? But then we're going to come back strong with reviews for Avatar: The Way of Water, Violent Night, The Callisto Protocol, The Whale, and is that it? Sure, that's enough.
It needs to be.
That's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
that's
lot.
quite a bit.
So yes, look out for episode 35 2 weeks from
35.
now. Any final thoughts?
Share.
Yeah.
Share.
Like,
Share.
Yeah. Like, share,
Share.
rank, give us 5 stars on the iPods.
Yeah, go give us a
On the
review.
iPod.
Yeah. I mean, you don't even have to share that. Just bump it. Give us a review.
Yeah, we haven't
mean-
talked about that in a while. That's our call to action this episode. Please open up Apple Podcasts.
Right.
Give us a 5-star rating.
Right.
and then tell us what you had for Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah. Right. And if you're feeling froggy, leave a comment.
If you're feeling froggy.
Yeah. Give her like feeling froggy.
Even if you're
jump.
not
Give
feeling
her that.
froggy.
Yeah, if you're not feeling froggy. How about just
I don't
you're feeling
know. It's
nothing?
just an guys. It's an expression. I don't know. Just
Yeah, so please go do that.
yeah.
Give us a reason
Yeah,
to keep
do
coming back.
Mhm.
We keep buying new equipment, and by we, I mean me. I keep buying new equipment for this podcast.
Yeah.
I need those 5-star ratings to fund this venture.
We need to start turning
Corey's
some
bankroll.
money. We're so in the red right now. But I will. But Corey, you finally got to set up right.
I got to set up right enough.
No technical difficulty.
Oh,
no
that.
technical difficulties.
No technical difficulties.
Yeah.
We started on time.
Wow, we did, didn't we?
Yeah, got a nice little setup going here for once.
We do.
Didn't lose anything.
I get to look down on my little Charlie's Angels from the screen.
I had some logistical issues on my part. I had too many mouses and keyboards going on, but yeah, I get it
Mises.
figured out. Mises.
Mises. Mises. My seat.
Yeah, we're feeling good about this podcast. So I
Yes.
hope the audience is feeling good about this podcast. Pretty soon, I have a project in the works to build a proper studio for this podcast. I'm very excited about that. So I'll be geeking out about that pretty soon because I'm looking forward to having a proper home for this recording setup.
I'm going to stop being nomadic.
Corey the Tool Man Winter.
I built those Lego tables, and now I feel like I can build anything.
Oh God.
I cut one piece of wood, and I'm like, I can do anything.
I am man.
All right. So, Jason, what should our audience not forget to do?
Oh, well, I would say they shouldn't forget to eat, sleep, nerd.
Take it easy.